Hey traders, John Howell here. Let's get started for the rest of this week, or let's get started for the week, should I say. I'm going to be going over all the markets, the S&P 500, or the indices, gold, silver, mining stocks, oil, energy market, and just getting a bit of a pulse on what's happening right now so we can move forward on a technical basis. Plus, also, I want to share something with you about if you are struggling right now with your trading. I've got an article that I'm going to go over with you that I wrote just recently that I think is going to, or that I know that's going to really help you. That if you're over trading or if you're going backwards in your trading right now, I know it's going to help you. So I've got a lot of stuff. I want to go through with you in this update. So let's get straight into it. Don't place a trade based on what you'll see in this video because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. Alright, traders. So let's actually start off with the stock market, and then we'll actually get into the mining sector and gold and silver and stuff like that. Now again, what I'm doing right now, guys, this is just a short-term technical analysis basis. Long-term view, I'm not going to get into that today, but there is a long-term sort of patterns that I do see that are happening right now across the markets there. But again, this is more technical analysis basis. And again, in that my breakthrough trading course that I'm giving you free access to, first link in the description, you'll learn more about the technical analysis, the biggest mistakes, my trading system and stuff like that as well too, if you want to learn all that sort of stuff. So let's have a look at the S&P 500. So the big thing that I'm noticing with the S&P 500 is that I'm noticing that we have had a very, very strong rally through here, and there's going to be a determining factor of what actually happens through here. Okay, now what I'm talking about is this: is that last time we actually got this similar pattern was actually back here in March. See, this could be a fool's rally, or it could be the start of something much bigger. Now, if it's a fool's rally, then we're obviously going to start to see some more downside, right? So what I mean by that is this: is if we go back to here, see we had a high, a lower high, and a lower high. We had this very big bull move out of here, and the same thing that happened back here in March is the same thing that's happening right now here from a human behavior sentiment perspective in the market. What I mean by that is that there's getting a lot of bullishness, a lot of bullish sentiment across the market, and that's exactly what happened back here in March when the market had a screaming move to the upside. But the most important part to an upward trend is a higher low. Okay, we need higher lows for upward trends. The market never just goes woof. If it does do that, it comes like that really quickly. Okay, so if we do get a big blow off move like this, which is probably not going to happen, then we tend to get that, right? Because that's bubble territory. This is a nice upward trend. That is bubble territory. So we generally have higher lows, or no, we have higher lows. The market won't just keep going up. Look at any market, look at any chart. So we can see here, like back here in March this year, when we had this very big strong rally, a lot of people were thinking the same thing through here, right? A big move up. We had a big move up and ready to go. And look what happened. Then it actually it just slightly broke above this high up here. As you can see, it actually broke above this high up here. And then look what happened. Then we actually started to see this movement on the downside, right? And now look what happened here. We just broke above this high up here. So are we about to get a repeating pattern of what actually happened back here? Because you can see we had a high, lower high, lower high. So we're in a slight downward trend. And then we actually broke up to a higher high. But remember, we need a higher low to start the upward trend. Even if you go back, and let me actually explain something here. Even when we go back to the COVID situation, right? Look at this back here. So even back here, look what we did. We actually started to do what? We started to create a low, higher lows. We started to create these higher lows, and we started to see this upward trend. We didn't just go woof, 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 woof. Right? We didn't just do that. So looking at these markets right now, this could be a fool's rally. Now, the big thing that I'm also watching when it comes to this is the weekly charts. This is a big thing that a lot of people miss out on, and they just focus on what's happening now. But the weekly charts could be giving us a bit of a sign of potentially what's going on. And what I mean by that is, as you can see, this is a weekly chart that we're looking at right now. And the weekly charts for me gives you sort of like the forest from the trees perspective, because whenever we're going through these pullbacks, as we can see right now, we're going through a bit of a rip to the upside. It gives us a bit of a story. It's like, okay, is this a true bounce, like a big overall major trend, a change of trend, or could it just be a very strong rally against the trend? And you can see this actually happened a few times within the last few years, even a big bull market, right? Big bull markets we have up, and then we get pullbacks, and then we get up. Now this is a weekly chart, remember? Look at the last time we had a move down, then we had a very strong rally up, didn't we? And then now we've had a move down, now we're getting a very strong rally up. So to me, nothing has changed on an overall big picture. This could just be another rally up, and it could be a fool's rally before they suck you in, before we start to get a move down. Now, right now would be the worst time to try to go long the market. Why? Because the market has already made its move up. At least wait for a pullback and wait for the next, wait for what I call the reset, right? Market goes up, it resets, goes for another run. Resets, goes for another run, right? At least wait for something like that if the market is going to start an upward trend. So we can see that that's what's happening right now on the S&P 500. We are making these lower highs through here. We are getting these big pullbacks through here as well too, right? We had a big pullback. Again, these are weekly bars. So obviously every single one of these has 5 trading days on the daily charts. And every time you got these big pullbacks here, right? This was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That was 6 weeks of a pullback, and then we had another move up. So I wouldn't be too surprised. And now you can see what's happening where we are right now across this here. We are getting very, very, very close to a lot of areas of resistance on the S&P 500, and you can see that that's that major key level of resistance all through there. That's that next level of resistance, plus also this one up through here. So we could have a bit more upside to the upside, but what you want to do if you're looking for trading opportunities, you want to wait for a pullback. Okay, this will get some form of pullback, and it will happen. This is the worst time to try to go long here, because there's a massive probability that even if we do get a bit more upside, we're probably going to come back down to get a bit of a pullback, and then maybe we start to do something like that. Okay, then maybe we start to do something like that, or maybe we just continue down from there. If we have a look at the Nasdaq, and the Nasdaq actually had a bit of a slight breakout to the upside, but once again, when we start to look at that weekly chart through here. Let's take that off the screen there. All right, if we start to have a look at that weekly chart, we can see that there was a sort of a strong area of resistance through there again. So is this going to be some form of a false breakout, right? Because if we do start to get back below these levels through here, then that's going to be a bit of a false breakout. A lot of people watching this right now, and they're watching that breakout there. But on the big picture, what do we still have through here? We have a very big defined downward trend. Do not fight the weekly chart. Just because we've gone up for a couple of weeks does not mean the overall market has now suddenly changed, and then it's gonna. We need to wait for that higher low, okay? Because we are in a downward trend through here. Even back here, right? We came up and then we started to do this, right? At least wait for these higher lows to come into place. We never know if this is gonna happen through here. Right, we just never know when that's going to happen. So looking for probabilities here, we're actually in a downward trend, right? Down, up, lower high, down, up. This could just be another lower high. We get something like that coming through, right? And then maybe we start to get something like that, and then it just comes like that down and down again. So I wouldn't be too surprised if this big strong rally here very high probability we're going to get a bit of a pullback on the daily charts. But what does that pullback do? Do we pull back and then hold and then start to see a very big move up, or not? Let's go have a look at gold through here. And gold has continued to have a very nice rally to the upside, but we're not out of the woodworks just yet. I wouldn't be too surprised to start to see we're just not out of the woodworks yet. Let me actually bring this chart up here for a minute. With the moving averages, let's go to this one here, or this one here. Okay, let's just go to this one here, right? So look at this here. Look at that moving average. See the moving average? It's like a strong momentum indicator. Look what happened last time. We had a bit of a rally. Look out. See the moving average trending down strong, and look what happened. We came down. Moving average is still trending down, and the market's going up. There's a massive probability that we're going to start to see something like that happening with gold again, because the momentum is still on the downside. And so that's definitely something you'll be watching out for on gold there. Looking at the silver market, same sort of thing, right? We're definitely getting a very strong moving average coming down. We're definitely getting a strong bounce through here, but we're not out of the woodworks yet. Keep it back to simple basics of good simple trend analysis. And if I squeeze my charts up through here, we can see that we've had this high, lower high, lower high, and now look, this could just be another lower high. We do have this major area of support and resistance back here around that $22 level. So that actually could be a defining factor in that market there. GDXJ, and again, don't be too excited about these markets through here, because look at the GDXJ. It's actually been, the GDX. GDX has been very, very weak. We had this major level of resistance through here. We came down, it rejected, it came back up, created a lower high. We broke back down. Look what's happening right now. Very weak move to the upside. So don't be too surprised, guys, to start to see this thing start to roll back over again and start to see another leg to the downside. Everything is getting hit quite hard. Everything is getting hit quite hard. And what I mean by everything is, like, even when you start to look at things like Bitcoin and stuff like that. Let's go have a look at good old Bitcoin. And what's happening with Bitcoin as well too. We're in this pullback phase right now. And let me just I'll bring up just one chart through here. So you can see what's happening through here. We're getting this sort of slow move to the upside on Bitcoin. But what's happening here is, once again, when we look at this big weekly charts, and this is, once again, the weekly charts are such a big defining factor in that there, right? Because look at this here. When we started to get a bit of a bounce through here, now this was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, pretty much almost 2.5 to 3 months of this market slowly going up, and then we got smashed again, right? We're slowly going up here. See how we're slowly going up? Man, if this thing starts to get a big move down through here, right? So if I go back to my daily charts, and I bring up all my funky dunky indicators through here, right? If we start to see, let's actually bring up from there to there, and I bring up something from there to there. Let's see if I can. Yeah, it's probably somewhere through, I'd say through there. Let's actually I'll just keep it on the screen there like that, right? So if we start to get like a bit of a breakdown through here, that's that major level of support. Looking at Bitcoin right now, let me actually let me actually zoom in a bit more. Right, and let me just do this here. So I'm just looking at this here. So if we start to get something like this on Bitcoin, like a big down bar like that, there's a high probability we're gonna probably smash through the 20 and then head down to around about the $10,000 level. Because again, we're getting what? We're getting a very weak pullback. Look at this here. Last time we got it down, we got this very weak pullback or sideways movement. As soon as we started to get that breakdown, that was the trigger to downside. We're just getting this upward movement. Okay. If we do get something like this, then there's going to be a very big trigger to the downward movement through there. So there we go, traders. There's a bit of a technical analysis part of the update today. I'm going to get into an article that I wrote just recently. If you want to learn more about my trading, then make sure you grab that free trading course. But let me actually I want to bring this up here because I think this is going to really help you when it comes to the way that you trade and what happens through there. So let me bring this up through to here, and I'm going to bring this down through to here. I'm going to zoom in a bit more so we can see this. Again, this is an article that I wrote just recently. And again, let me just bring it here. So today I want to talk about the myth of more trades equals more income, and every master was once a disaster. I actually heard that from someone, but they actually got it from T. Harv Eker, I think it was. So let's actually walk you through this here. Number one, the myth of more trades. Once again, guys, the technical analysis part of this market update has been finished. And so if you're interested in more of the mindset side of things, or maybe you are struggling, you want to try to figure out why, then the rest of this segment is for you. Okay, so let's actually continue on this here. So the myth of more trades equals more income. This week I listened to a book, and again, I just wrote this literally just a few days ago of doing this recording for you. So this week I listened to the book How to Trade in Stocks by Jesse Livermore. It's a short book, it's a short book to listen to because I listened to it on audio, but there are a few golden nuggets that you will pick up from it. He was saying that he gets 3 to 4 big trades per year, and he makes a lot of money. If you guys have read Reminiscence of Stock Operator, leave a comment below. Let me know if you've actually read that or listened to that book. There's phenomenal. So you got the techniques, but when you start to understand how the traders think about their trading, how do they actually think? How do they think about their trading? Are they trying to trade a lot all the time, or are they doing something different? Like how do the top percent people do it? Right? And he makes a lot of money. He was also saying that every time he gets into the market, every time he got in the market because he wanted to get in early or he just wanted to trade, he lost money. One of my earlier mentors said that when someone asked what he does for a living, he said that he is a waiter. He said he is paid to wait. Now I know waiting for the next good trade is the hardest thing about trading because sometimes it can be weeks or sometimes months until you get that really good A quality trade. And you may be in the same position, right? That's one of the hardest things about trading is you thinking that you need to trade all the time. You taking your job mentality and putting it into the markets, right? Because what is our job mentality? We go to work, we're doing a lot, we're working every day, and we make money today. We come back tomorrow, we work a lot today. We're doing a lot of stuff today. We're moving activity, and then we get paid for the day. If you bring that mentality to the market where you're trying to trade every day to try to make that money every day, guess what? The market gives you a slap. And that's where it's hard for most people to get that mentality switch of understanding that how you make money from the markets is not trading all the time, but trading when there's a setup that comes around from there. And there's not one system fits all, right? There's thousands of systems out there that work. So this year I had, this is just an example here. This year I had 6 weeks with no trades, and then straight after that I had 2 weeks with 4 trades, and they all made profits. This is something that has set me back so many times in the past. I would take so many shit trades, and then when a good trade comes around, I would not take it because my confidence was hit from taking trades that did not meet the plan. I'm just like you, and I'm trying to take my own personal trade to the next level. So that is why I listen to these books to help me, to help the way that I think about my trading, and the lessons like this help me stay patient when I have not had a trade for a few weeks. I got a message from a past member who trades the US market open, trades the futures markets for the first 15 to 30 minutes on the US market for the futures markets. Now he trades $20,000 margin every trade. I think that's around 40 contracts on the S&P 500 because it's around $500 margin, so it's around 40 contracts he trades. And that's what he trades. And he said he's only had 7 trades for the whole year. Could you imagine that? Every day you watching the US market open, and every day for how long, every day. And as I'm doing this recording, right, you got like it's a lot of months, and you're doing it for like 6, 7, 8 months, and you watching the market every day, but only having 7 trades. But he is up over $150,000 for the year, which is around $210,000 Aussie if you live in Australia. Now, if you're new to trading, try to be okay not taking a trade. I know it's hard, but every day try to keep in mind what I've talked about today. Let's get into number 2. Now, every master was once a disaster. I've personally made so many dumbass mistakes when it comes to trading in my life. I've made so many bad decisions that lead to my life being a disaster and in a big black hole. It is this big black hole that I've had a choice to give up or look at what I'm really doing and the lessons that I need to learn and how I can start to get back on top of my feet, to start to slowly get my life making progress. Right? This is what's happened to me in the past. 1 year later, the lessons I learned from that big black hole are blessings in helping me start to become a good trader. Sometimes after 10 years of this, you become really good at this and you become a master. Every person you look up to goes through something like this of what I just went through. If you are having a hard time, let's do this here. If you are having a hard time with your trading, don't be hard on yourself. Just make sure to try and sit back and look at what's going on and what lessons you can learn. Then slowly start to get back on top of your feet. How I've done this in the past is to get back into the videos, the workbook, the trade examples. If you are, do have workbooks and manuals and so on and so forth, lots of back testing, etc., to build up my confidence. Then Then I give myself a goal for all of the week. I'm only going to take trades that meet this plan. And whatever plan it is for you, and you might be following my stuff or you might be following someone else, but whatever plan it is for you, then that's right. I'm only going to take trades that meet this rule. Or look, I normally take a screenshot of the perfect picture or the perfect trade, and I say, right, I'm only going to take trades that look like this. So I'm only going to take trades that meet this plan 100%. If there are no trades, then I can't trade no matter how much I want to. By giving myself short-term goals like this, it helps me slowly get off my feet. Don't be hard on yourself. Don't be hard on yourself. Every master you look up to was once a disaster. You can do this, but understand that it could take years for it to really stick. It could take years to really stick. Have an amazing weekend and kick ass this weekend. Remember, it's okay to sit and do nothing and not take a trade and that's always the biggest thing, right? You can see the biggest thing here from every master was a disaster to also the amidst of more trades. This is that sort of the mindset type of trading, guys, that that it's really important for us to move forward as traders, right? Because we're not perfect. I'm no better than you. You're no better than me. No one's better than everyone else, right? There are people that have been doing it for a lot longer than you, so therefore we have skills and talents that we've learned, and we generally learnt them through what? Every master you look up to was once a disaster, and my life in the past has been a complete disaster. And every now and then I totally screw up and make a mistake, right? No one's life's perfect. I make mistakes all the time. But the thing is that the through the mistakes now, very rarely do they become absolute disasters, right? But there's been times in the past where my life has been a disaster, but through that disaster, I've learned the lessons which helped me become a master, and therefore I share with some of the stuff like I'm teaching with you in today's market update. So there we go, guys. Hope this helps you out, and I'll see you in the next video. Traders, I want to invite you to my webinar that I'm running today. And on this webinar, I'm going to share with you all the details to my #1 trading system for the last 17 years and how I only trade 1 hour per day. Plus, also going to be learning the 3 secrets that I had to master over the last 17 years to generate a really good income. If you go to johnsfreetraining.com, or there should be a link in the description, click on that. Go over there right now, register. If you are struggling with the trading right now, I promise you this is going to completely game change, because you're going to understand why you are going backwards and why you're losing money. And then I'm going to teach you exactly what the system I use that gets me a really high % win-loss ratio. So this is what I want you to do right now. Go to johnsfreetraining.com. Go over there, register for my webinar right now today, because you're going to absolutely love it. Or there should be a link in the description. And I look forward to seeing you on the webinar. So go to that right now, and I look forward to seeing you on my next webinar. Go to that right now. Go to johnsfreetraining.com. Go to that right now.